Welcome one and all, I'm Decoy, and today we're going to check out my shelter. But of course, we need to start on the outside first, and then we'll get to the good stuff. Now, in my little vending town that has been a work in progress for a really long time, what I ended up doing was I took all the workbenches out of my little tool store, and I'm kind of converting that into a little country diner. It's not overly decorated. Like I said, it's a work in progress. I'll get there eventually, but I do think I have a decent start to it. And not only that, I managed to hide the entrance to my shelter a little bit by turning it into a little grill stove kind of thing. And if you're wondering how to do that, the merging trick that I taught a long time ago, over merging like crazy, is how you pull that off. And down here we've got the Paywall Club, number 2. Oh yeah, it seemed like it was high time that the Paywall Club made a comeback, and I could think of no better use for this shelter than the Paywall Club, because the goal eventually will be to have the entrances to the other 2 shelters inside the Paywall Club, because hey, you gotta go through the paywall to get the other shelters. You know, there's a little bit of funniness going on right there, and also slightly disappointing. Let's head on in. Now, I will say, one thing that still annoys me is the fact that you gotta turn on the fog machine every time. So, every time I come inside the shelter, I gotta go turn on the fog machine, and then come back out and do whatever. But right over here, get a pretty simple little bar. I will say that there is a ton of budget for this tiny place, and I don't know how I would manage to max out the budget of this tiny room. I'm sure I could do it if I tried hard enough. But back here, I mean, look at, we got DJ Mothman is back, looking cool. Now, if any of you missed out on the original Paywall Club, I did like a cool little music video with a bunch of subscribers, and I'm going to try to put a link to that down in the video description. Hopefully I remember to do that. If not, I'll make it happen at some point, because that was really cool and a lot of fun. Now, I do want to talk about a few of my little complaints for the shelters real quick. One, there's a ton of lighting in here, but it's really dark. I don't understand how that works. 2, the water dripping from the ceiling and the sparks shooting out of stuff. And you got mud puddles on the floor. Like, oh my gosh. Can I have like an option to repair all of the shelter? Not necessarily my items, but the shelter itself, so it doesn't seem so crappy. I need that to be an option, alright? Because if you're annoyed by the little mud puddles and stuff like that, pretty much what you gotta do is build a floor above the floor so that you can basically hide the mud puddles. Another thing that kind of sucks is the walls don't go all the way to the ceiling. And you can't really like merge a wall into the ceiling because it makes Bethesda cry or something. I don't know. So, pro tip, you gotta build from the top down. Get you a wall placed down, and then pick it up and slowly move it up until it makes contact with the ceiling. Get it placed down, and then move your floors up accordingly. Just keep in mind that when it comes to your little entranceway, you're going to have to leave space for people to kind of stair step up into your floor. Or not into it, but onto your floor. Otherwise, they're going to get stuck on the door. It's that simple. But that is the Paywall Club. Back at long last. Fingers crossed that this time, you know, I don't have like some random new world item spawning in the middle of it, like the last Paywall Club. That that was a painful moment, losing that place. Now, because of having to like move my floors back to create a little stair step, I do have a gap in my wall, and I just flipped another wall around backwards behind it, threw some clocks up to fill the gap at the top. Overall, I think it turned out alright. Hop down in the comments, let me know what you think. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please remember to like, sub, and share. Later.